We've got Shikhar Aggarwal, who is the JMD at BLS International, now joining in the show. Lots to talk about with respect to the kind of pickup in visa application volumes, as well as what the outlook is for their plans for the e-services IPO. Thanks so much for taking time out. Let's just start off by talking about the company's plans for BLS E-services. I understand that you're looking to raise funds via an IPO. Can you walk us through the timeline and share the details? Post the IPO, it will remain a subsidiary still of the company?
Yes. So as we've announced, we had a board meeting where it was discussed that we will be launching an IPO for BLS E-services, which is the digital service arm of BLS International. We've already engaged the merchant banker and the legal lawyers for that. Our aim is to file the DHRP, within the month's time, and then according to the SEBI's approval, our aim is to launch the IPO within the next 2 quarters, definitely. So that is the aim. In this company, last year, the digital service segment, we did a revenue around 300 crores and an EBITDA of around 35 crores. And this will be a new issue of shares. So it will continue to be a subsidiary of BLS International post the IPO.
Just a clarification there. I know, of course, you've employed the merchant bankers and detail will follow, but could you roughly give us an estimate in terms of what could be the size of this? What's the valuation? Because you talked about the revenue as well as the bottom line. What's the usual average multiple being used, and what could be the value of this entire market cap of this IPO arm?
See, we have not really, the merchant bankers are really right now working on the numbers. So they have not come out with the numbers, exactly how much the valuation of the company will be. And I think whenever we get that and when we file, I think that is the time we can announce. But I can tell you that we are looking at, selling shares of 20 to 25% of the company, post which it will continue to remain a subsidiary of BLS International. Definitely, this company has been growing at the rate of 25% in the last 2-3 years. We also acquired a company called Zero, which we have consolidated in this company itself. So next few years, we expect aggressive growth coming in from this company. There has been a lot of interest from investors, regarding this company also. But I think as and when we are allowed to announce those numbers as per the guidelines of the SEBI, we will be announcing that.
But what is the primary purpose of IPOing?
So primary purposes, this company, BLS E-services, which is a digital service arm, is itself a growing company. We don't want to use the profits that we are generating in BLS International to fund the growth in digital services. Digital services, in the next few years, we are targeting a couple of acquisitions in that company itself. There are a couple of governments which are coming out with tenders, which we are eyeing, which we need money to invest to open offices across India. We are targeting to increase our reach with different offices across different parts of India. So that is the utilization of the money for BLS E-services.
Then what will be the business in the holding company? Because I'm trying to understand it. It's very similar, right? In fact, I would believe it would be synergistic to keep it together. So what was the rationale of, making these two companies separate? And will the management be also different? Are you looking at getting a new leadership there?
See, definitely the business is different in Visa in the holding company, which right now the overall revenue of the company, 80% constitute Visa Consular Services, wherein we are operating in 64 countries and working with more than 46 governments. And this business of digital services primarily within India right now, which is into citizen services, working with different states, doing banking correspondent work, wherein we are one of the largest BC partners of SBI, and also working with different other banks like Bank of Baroda, and we also started up recently with different private banks. So that is the reason that, we want to keep both these entities separate, growth. Both these entities should not be funded by profits of one another. So that is the reason, management definitely, the CEO of, Zero has come on board with us, is also heading, is the CEO for the digital service business, heading that business. We are also on the board, definitely providing strategic guidance, whatever we have learned in the last 10-12 years of BLS International, we want to give that inputs. But definitely we have professionals who are leading that company.
Okay, let's move away from that and talk about the fact that the global market leader continues to remain VFS Global. They have a 50% market share. Yes, your market share has grown to about, I think, 17% now. What is the plan to scale up your overall market share? When can you see your revenues go back to those pre-COVID levels?
See, already, if you, we are definitely, BLS International is the only Indian global company, first of all, in this business. We are the top three players globally working with more than 46 governments. If you see revenues that we have done last year, 1,500 crores of revenue, 200 crores of bottom line, which is already, if you compare that from 2019, it's 100% jump in the profitability level. That too on the back of only 70% application coming back from pre-COVID level. If you talk about the application count, countries like China and Russia are opening up. We expect increase in traffic from China outbound this year. We've already opened our offices. We have seen good traction. So definitely as the application volume further increases, we expect good increase from existing contracts. But having said that, we've also won a lot of new contracts in the last 1.5 years from the Italian government, German government. We've also re-won our Spanish global contract, which also entails a different category of visas, work visas, which have already been outsourced to us. So all these factors will definitely lead to a good growth with BLS International in the coming years.
So just to understand it, currently, how many visa application contracts do you process annually? And you spoke about these contracts that you've just won, close to $1.5 billion, if I'm not mistaken. What kind of a scale up will that drive in terms of your volumes down the line?
See, currently we work with more than 40 governments. We have recently won contracts. We have won contract with the Italian embassy in 5 different countries. We've won contract with the German government, with the Polish government, with the Spanish government. Obviously with the Spanish government, we have re-won the contract. So, but some additional value has been added. But, on top of that, there is additional opportunity of around $1.5 billion worth of contracts that are coming up for bidding. In which we are at different qualification state. We have qualified some of it, Italy, Germany was part of that. So definitely, if depending on the market share that we win from those contracts, it depends how much growth we will get in the next few years.
Okay, Shikhar, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time out and joining in today.